Hi everybody, hope you're all well. This is part 20 of 31 Days in August, and today's comic is X Factor number 15. Now this comic was brought out way before they decided to use the name X Factor for that horrendously terrible TV program that is supposed to find people with talent. Yes, talent in the loosest sense of the word. But on the contrary, X Factor was a really good comic, and actually still is, because Peter Davison is writing it as we speak. And from what I've seen of it, it is a pretty good comic. Excuse me, I'm just gonna. There you go. You can see my ceiling. I want to see that. Now, X Factor. It showcased the original X-Men: Jean Grey, Marvel Girl, Scott Summers, Cyclops, Hank McCoy, Beast, Bobby Drake, Iceman, and Warren, I can never remember his name, the Angel, Warren Kenneth Worthington III as the Angel. Now, they were posing themselves as mutant hunters, okay, when this first came out. Now, you're probably wondering where Jean Grey come from, because before this comic came out, Jean Grey was still dead. Right, let's see if we can get this straight. Jean Grey supposedly wasn't killed as the Phoenix, right? No, the Phoenix, all the Phoenix did was create a duplicate body of her and stuck the real Jean Grey in a cocoon underneath the sea. Right? Oh, it gets worse than that. In order for Cyclops to join X Factor, right? He left his wife, Madeline Pryor, yeah, and their son Nathaniel Summers, yeah, to join the X Factor, right? Now, Madeline Pryor turned out to be a clone of Jean Grey. With me so far? No, didn't think it would be, because I'm completely confused as it is, Nick. So, Jean Grey gets awakened from the cocoon that the Phoenix Force put her into, which was in one issue of Avengers, the Avengers comic at that time, and one issue of Fantastic Four, and they try to make it look like that she was the counterpart for a character called Him. They try to make it look like she was a counterpart for a character called Him, called Her, but she wasn't. She was Jean Grey. Yeah, so if you're with me with that one at this moment in time, well done, because I'm confused as hell in any case. To make matters even more confusing, the Beast, Hank McCoy, isn't his blue furry beast self. He looks like a normal human being. There you go. At which point, I cannot remember why he looked like a normal human being in this comic. I think it was something to do with holograms, I think, or something, but I could be wrong. So if anybody can remember why Hank McCoy looked human in X Factor, you're more than welcome to put it down in the comment section below. Okay, because I'm confused now, and I'm just going to go on to review this comic. Now, when we see this comic, get into the comic, Warren Worthington III has lost his wings. He was severely injured, and he had to have his wings amputated. Which he's really not happy about. I mean, all he had was his wings. He had his good looks, but he's completely lost without his wings. Now, what you've got to remember is X Factor was supposed to be a mutant hunting group. And what they used to do was, any mutants who couldn't control their powers, they would go in, capture the mutants, but instead of taking them to a detention centre, they would take them to a place not unlike the Xavier School for Gifted Children, and where they would hide the children, hide the mutants, until they could learn to control their powers, and then they would get integrated back into society with the ability to control their powers and maybe hide their powers until they need to use them. Now, I said Angel loses his wings, and Scott Summers in this comic is going off on one, as he usually does, because we all know Scott Summers is just a whiny bitch. Come on, let's admit it. Scott Summers is a whiny bitch. Okay, he's cheesed off with Jean Grey because she is ignoring him, and he thinks that she is the clone of his wife, Madelyne Pryor, which she's not. She's Jean Grey. All this is happening because Cyclops is being, or Scott Summers is being manipulated in the background by somebody to make him think that Jean Grey is Madelyne Pryor and the Phoenix Force still. As Scott goes off on a huff, as he always does, the spirit, if you will, or an image of Madelyne Pryor's turns up in front of him, and racked with guilt about the fact that Madelyne killed herself because he left her and her son. He's seeing these visions of her, and these visions are telling him that Jean Grey, this Jean Grey is the Phoenix Force still. Meanwhile, Warren is in absolute agony, can't think, and he wants to get out of the hospital he's in. He is slowly losing his mind from not being able to fly. He gets a certain freedom and a certain elevation, but a certain euphoria from being able to fly. Knowing now that he will never be able to fly again has completely pushed him over. He stopped taking his painkillers and medication, and he gets out of the hospital to get into a plane because he wants to be able to fly for one last time. As all this is happening, Apocalypse is in his invisible spaceship over the city with 3 of his 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Pestilence, war and famine. All he needs to now find is his death to make his 4 horsemen of the apocalypse complete, and so that they and Apocalypse can cause havoc and destruction on the earth, and to destroy the weak, as Apocalypse says, to destroy the weak and to allow the healthy and the strong to thrive and grow stronger in a new world order run by Apocalypse. Scott, Jean and Hank find out that Warren has left the hospital and that he's gone to an airfield to fly one last time. Just as the trio get there, they see Warren taken off in a plane, and as he's in the air, the plane explodes. And I've just noticed something. This is the second comic in a row that I've reviewed with exploding planes in it. It's great. I'm glad I'm not flying anytime soon. So supposedly this is the issue that is the death of Warren Worthington III, also known as Angel. Now, we all know that's not the case. This comic is not the end, but it's the beginning of a new chapter for Angel. And if you want to know what that is, then may I suggest you pick up X Factor number 24 if you can find it fairly cheaply. If not, see if you can get the trade paperbacks for this, because the first run of X Factor, the first how many comics was there? I think it's about the first 30 or 35 issues of X Factor, especially the ones written by Louis Simonson and drawn by Walter Simonson, were absolutely brilliant. The fact that they brought back the original X-Men and they turned them to the public eye to look as if they were mutant hunters when they weren't. There was also a nice little twist in the series at the beginning of the series where the 5 X-Men, Cyclops, Marvel Girl, Beast, Iceman and Angel, they would dress up as normal human beings, non-powered mutant hunters, but then they would also dress up in their costumes as a group of I believe it was supposed to be like mutant terrorists called the Exterminators. So they were used, they were playing the media, so to speak, in the Marvel Universe to manipulate it in a way that they could go out as these mutant hunters, and instead of incarcerating or killing mutants that couldn't control their powers or were just coming out with their powers, they were actually helping them and taking them in and hiding them, training them up so they could control their powers. Eventually they knocked the whole mutant hunters scenario and exterminators scenario on the head, because they realized that it wasn't working and it was actually causing more mutant hatred in the world than it was doing good. Yeah, the first like 25-30 issues of this are really worth picking up, and then after that, I think it's around about issue 75 when Peter Davison starts writing for it, where you get now you have to excuse me, there's Wolfbane, Madrox, and is it Strong Guy? Yeah, and you get all those ones from who are in X Factor now, which is also written by Peter Davison, which is another fantastic part of this arc of this this series that's coming out. So yeah, like I said, if you can pick up the early issues of X Factor, I think it was issue 6 of X Factor that had the first appearance of Apocalypse as well. So if you can get that one fairly cheaply, that's definitely worth having. I used to have it myself, but unfortunately I wasn't really a big reader of Marvel Comics at the time, so having issue 6 of X Factor with this weird purple looking guy on the front cover didn't really sort of like I didn't really take any notice of it. I just put it in my collection and went, there you go. And then when I ended up selling a load of my comics years and years ago, that was one of the ones that went. Yes, I'm kicking myself now, and yes, I wish I had another copy of it, but there you go. You know, these things happen. So yeah, that was part 20 of 31 Days in August. There is only another 11 parts to go. This Friday I should be doing the, as I've been doing it all these last few Fridays, I should be doing the random viewer's choice selection video. So I need 2 numbers, one from 1 to 51 and one from 1 to 300. If you have already given me a number, that's fantastic, thank you very much. But if you want to give me any more numbers, even better, because the more numbers you give me, the more random this whole thing gets. If you are new to my channel, this is the first video you've seen, then you go back and watch the last 19 videos, including the Friday random viewers choice selection videos, because I think they're hilarious. You'll just see me struggling and straining with these great big boxes of comics behind me, you know. So if somebody hurting themselves for the entertainment of other people isn't your thing, then what are you watching these videos for? Yeah. And I've lost my train of thought now. Yeah, so yeah, if this is the first video you've seen of mine, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you like it, and give me 2 numbers, as I said, one between 1 and 51, and one between 1 and 300. I will do a draw on Friday to see who chooses what Saturday and Sunday's comics will be. And then if you are a subscriber to my channel and you've given me 2 numbers, then at the end of this whole thing that I'm doing, at the end of the month, either on the 1st or 2nd of September, I shall be doing a raffle where you can win 1 of 2 prizes. If you want to find out what those 2 prizes are, have a look at the last viewer's choice video that I put up. I showed what they were on there. This Friday, if you can't be bothered to look back and see what I've done, this Friday I'll remind everyone what the prizes are, and we'll take it from there. So tomorrow, another day, another completely random comic from my collection. Thank you everybody for watching. Thank you everyone for subscribing. If you have any comments, leave them down below. If you like it, thumbs up. If you didn't like it, then thumbs it down for all I care. But I haven't said this for a long time, and I've noticed a couple of people have thumbs some of my videos down. Thank you ever so much, because even though you thumbs them down, you're still giving me view counts. So thanks. Great. But yeah, if you have a problem with the videos, thumbs it down, but say why you have a problem. Don't just, you know, be a wuss and thumbs it down and run off and hide. Say why you didn't agree with anything, or you know, whatever. This is called communication. That's how people get on. Communication. Right. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Take care, and ta-ta for now.